Matt Day here with Parsons Graham and Day. Want to take a second to address a question that I frequently get and that is, are you the type of attorney that I'm looking for, right? So some things to consider when you are going to hire, we'll say a divorce lawyer, right? Do they practice that type of law, right? So check the internet, check their website, speak to them and ask them if they regularly practice divorces or do they regularly practice custody cases, right? Are they frequently involved in what we would call domestic relations matters, right? And so there's various forms of family law and domestic relations matters that the attorneys can be involved in, but do they practice in that type of area, okay? Number two, do they practice in the geographic spot where your case is going to be handled, right? So are they practicing in the county or in the city, in the state, where your case is going to be handled? That's important. It's not necessarily determinative of the outcome of your case, but the attorney who practices regularly in front of the same sort of judge or who practices in the same county can give you some practical tips on what the court is going to be looking for within that specific area because they've been in front of that judge, they've been in that court, and they can tell you what that court looks for. Number three, get a feel for the attorney, right? Speak to the attorney, watch some of their videos, right? Read some of their material and get a feel for the attorney. See how they approach a case. Every attorney approaches cases differently, right? But we also tend to fall into some generic camps on how we practice and how we approach cases. And so get a feel if that approach is good for you, right? Some attorneys are going to come in and say, give me all of your Kool-Aid, let me drink it and drink it and drink it, and I'll just go and spew it all over everybody, and as long as you're paying my bill, I won't care. Other attorneys are going to say, well, what's your budget allow us to do, all right? And let's focus on that. But get a feel for whether or not there's a connection between you and that attorney, right? Sometimes people call and there's just not that connection, and you help them find someone with whom they have a connection, and that's okay, right? Number four, you need to consider your budget. How much money do you have to spend on your case, right? There's tons of litigation tactics, and there are quite a few strategies that need to be employed in certain situations. Consider if there are alcohol or drug abuse allegations. Well, then you start looking at how we're going to monitor that person with drug testing, right? What kinds of drug tests are we going to do? Are they going to have to go and do an evaluation? What about mental health? We've got mental health evaluations that can be done that can be quite costly. What if we need a guardian ad litem to come in and advocate for the child's best interest? Well, that's an additional fee or expense that has to be paid. So you've got to look at what does my budget allow so that we can allocate that money during the life of your case in a way that is going to be successful for you. Okay? These are just things that you need to be considering when you're looking for a family law attorney, and some of them are obviously applicable to looking for other attorneys, but these are things that you need to be thinking about, right? Do you have a feel for them? What's your budget? Do they practice that type of law? Do they practice in the area where your case is going to be handled? These are important things to know when making a selection.
The purpose of this video is to be informative and not to provide legal advice. For legal advice, call a law firm and speak to an attorney about your particular case. None of the information provided in here is meant to establish the attorney-client relationship between Parsons Graham Day and anyone watching this video.